You have to get near me. You have to come to me. In which case, I can take advantage of that. Mr. Fazloi! He's gonna be our last reviewer today. He's a 3800 Widow. Fucking 3800 Widow coming to a Junkrat for help. What sort of time do we live in? When... Oh, and is he council? Oh, is this council? Nope, that's E. This is a keyboard user. What times are we in? Good fucking shot. Shoot him! Body shots! Alright, good. You probably got this point. You took the fire angle. I like it. I like that. Cut, never mind. That cuss of mine. Alright. You did good, but your team died. Not bad. I mean, not bad. I mean, the only thing you could say is you missed that Zen, but I mean, you're 2800 or 3800. You're not supposed to hit every shot, so that's not a bad thing. I mean, you're hitting your shots. Watch out for the Rhine you just stepped over. All right, your team handled that. Slight tunnel vision. For up the health. Perfect. Yeah, that's fine. So far, so good. If I swear to God, Fazloi, if this is one of those where you're like, I'm doing so fucking good, what can I do to be better? And it's like, oh man, you just wanted your ego stroke. We have to cancel the review. Oh! Dodge that flashbang. Bam, there's my tip. That's alright. I didn't hear him. Yeah, there's nothing you do about getting stunned and then shot.
My ultimate is almost ready.
So far you're doing pretty good. You're taking the fire angles, you're cutting off the you're cutting off the most amount of space for the enemy. You're missing your grapples. You can't get them all, that's for sure. Perfect time for that to happen, because yes, that's exactly what you saw. Right when they're about to commit to something is when you want to ult, so you can see their commitment. Alright, 2 perfect shots. Those were the 2 things you needed to hit. Good shot. Like, you say you're getting bodied, but you haven't gotten bodied yet. I wish that ult was a second longer. If they could do any nerf to Hanzo, make his ult take a 1.5 longer to cast. That's right. Body shot. That's how you put a tracer down. Yep. Especially when they got Discord on them. In case anyone didn't know, Discord or damage boost will... A 120 damage shot will kill a 150 hit point hero. So Junkrat, Pharah, Widow, Hanzo, these characters that do 120. Even a direct rocket from Soldier's Gun that is 120. If you're getting damage boosted, you're hitting a discorded target, they will take 155 damage. You went 0-2 this game? I mean, you're doing pretty good this game, Fazloi. Like, you're hitting the shots you need to hit. If anyone expects you to hit more shots than what you're doing on this one, like, you can't. Unless you're like an Overwatch League level player, which you're not. You're going to miss some shots, which is fine. And this is essentially why it's so hard to balance Widow. It's like, this guy's doing really good. Do you make it even harder for him to do what he's doing?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Okay, taking the fire angle. I like this.
If we are to progress,
Getting some good body shots off. And don't be ashamed of body shots. Too many people talk shit about body shots. Okay, I was going to say, those melees are actually really good against Tracer. As a Widow, you've probably noticed. Meleeing Tracer is a really good way to just get some good, consistent damage off on her. When she's pressuring, usually when she's down in numbers, and she's just kind of harassing people. Remember those cheeky Widow flanks? Cheeky Widow flanks!
Kidding me, Windows? Seriously?
Good job, Windows. So cheeky Widow flanks. They work, and when they work well, especially when there's like a far angle. The problem is if you get nothing, you've wasted so much time. Also, if they know where you're at and they attack you right away, like they expect the flank is coming, you just die. So they're definitely using the Trace and the Diva to apply pressure on you. I mean, you're getting work done. I understand why they don't like... Oof, that was rough, Tracer. Why they... I don't want to say they're afraid of you, but they need to control you in some sort of degree.
group up. Join with me. My ultimate ability is charging.
Okay. Yeah, so I think what's going to happen here, I mean, you're probably going to lose right here, I'm guessing. I think you did fine. Like, at a personal level. Like, point 1, you did very well. Point 2, you're having a bit tougher time. It is a... The thing is once you lose the open... Like, once you lose the point, they're just going to jump on you whenever you're in the corner. Or when you're in the choke points, I mean. So, there's not too much to talk about. Your accuracy is phenomenal. Like, for 3800, I think you're doing really good as a Widow. I think your mechanics are there. Oops. So I think you're doing great here. I think your positioning is good. They're just diving really hard for you. They were using Tracer and Diva to apply pressure on you. Tracer. The first map they didn't have the Tracer, and I don't think they had the Diva. They were doing Zarya on that one. So they had a harder time to get to you. You did a lot of work, but they still took the main fight. As far as the second point, once they took it, they just shoved you in the choke point, and every time you try to get out, the Diva and Tracer were on you constantly. So like, there's not much you can do about that except, and this is the tough part about Widow and the tough pill to swallow is you just need to get better. That's the big issue with Widow. If your positioning's on point, you just have to land more shots. And the problem with that is, sure, but Chro, then I have to land like 90% of my shots, and it's like, I know. Unless you can depend on your team to help you out, to protect you, if you're doing this on your own, then you just have to hit a phenomenal amount of shots, which means you have to be incredibly good. And this is why Widow is so hard to balance. I mean, you see the difficulties this guy had, and imagine if Widow gets nerfed. Like, it's going to be tough. But I'll say this, the first round you did really good. You picked a lot of people off. You made the fight favorable for your team. You not only did you shove him into a corner with your just the presence, you got a couple picks, you got the damage off. Like, you did really well. Your team couldn't capitalize on it though. Logistics, I think everything. All your decision making was fine. This is all fine. I mean, I could just be a facetious asshole and just be like, well, you should have swapped heroes, right? That's the problem when you start dealing with things that are strong against you. You have to get better than them, or you swap heroes. Those are your two things like that. That a lot of my games have been like this recently. Yeah, well, a lot of people are getting pissed off at Widow, and so you're going to be seeing some things that really hit down Widows. Triggering all hitboxes dramatically help against snipers or help for a short time. I think it would help a lot, and I think over time it would help a little bit. Like, people would get better and they'd still be hitting the headshots, but I think just a smaller target is still going to get hit a less percentage of the time. Should sniping in Overwatch be strong or weak? Overwatch isn't like other FPSs. I think it needs to be balanced, which I guess most people would say it needs to be weak then. The problem is if you're looking at the game from a design point of view, if snipers are the best DPSers, I cannot create mid or short-range heroes, which is a majority of the cast, which means why even have 20 heroes in the game? The long-range hero that can kill people close up is always going to be best. So I would say snipers need to be weaker, just so I would rather have 90% of the cast usable rather than 10%. Do you have any advice on Widow vs. Widow matchups? Widow vs. Widow is really... I struggle in Widow vs. Widow, but I think the big thing is to either A, have support from your team, or B, be in a position where, like, if there's all these people here, and this is the Widow, try to use the terrain so that you only fight the Widow. Right? The angles are cut off, so only you fight the Widow. This is probably your best aspect, because getting hit from projectiles like Zen and other random spam coming your way is going to be it's going to make your life so much harder. If you don't have a shield to sit behind or someone to help you, then you have to blind yourself from these three targets and only focus on the one. That's my best piece of advice. That's all positioning. That's how you beat them on that one. Or pop up somewhere where they don't think you're going to be and shoot them from behind. Any other questions? I mean, you did really good this game. I don't have much to correct you on. Keep playing like this, and I think the sky's the limit. I think if your team protected you a little bit more, or take advantage of the cash you had, I think you would have done. You probably would have won that game. But you can't win them all. No one can win all their games. There's simply some games that are unwinnable. But most people don't agree to that. They believe if you can change your hero, you can win every game. But that's not the case. Sometimes you are the worst team. Widow is not strong right now. You kidding me? Widow is probably the strongest hero in the meta currently. Hanzo destroys her at most ranges until you get a good Widow, and then the Widow wins. Hit scan will always triumph over projectile. Projectile may win at first, but once hit scan starts getting skilled enough, then they win. Hanzo's strong. Hanzo's really strong, but Widow is the one that shuts everyone down at all ranges. Hanzo's he's just strong at all ranges. His weakest is long, so that's why Widow's good against them. But Widow's just good. Once Widow's can shoot hit scan up close, then Widow's good against Hanzo. It's his burst damage and his large hitbox and just constant crazy DPS and his insane mobility. That's everything. I listed his whole skill set. Everything about him is very good. As people get better with Widow, should balancing change to reflect that? Blue Moose, that's a really good question, and my next blog post is going to be like a 3-page paper probably on that. It's a very tough question to ask. Can't win all your games? Yeah, no, you can't. It's impossible. There are people that are better than you. That's it. Said and done. There's nothing else to say. People think you can win just by picking a hero that's stronger against their hero or stuff like that. Shut up. No, skill wins. Are you better? Are you the best in the world? No. Oh, then someone's going to beat you, so you can't win all the games out there. On the second round, you have trouble finding angles. Any advice on that? It's because you were stuck on choke points. You'll have the same issue attacking Watch Point Gibraltar Point 2. Essentially, you had a choke point over here to go through. You had the choke point over here to go through. You had the connecting thing for them. And then you could have came out here on this point. Unless you do something super sneaky and go this way, you're going to be stuck going this way, or this way on that map. It's just the bad part about King of the Hill maps when you start losing. You're subjected to these ridiculous choke points. And on that map specifically, when they sit in the middle here, they can easily reach every single place. Place like Nepal, the one with the bell, if they push up, this flank is really far away, this flank's far away, the middle flank's far away, right? It's a bigger map. They were just pushed up on a closed map, which made these choke points really tough. So it's not about you having trouble finding the angles, you were just on a very tough map for Widow. Whenever you're subjected to the choke points that hard, when it's literally just a doorway for you to walk through, you're going to have a rough time. You need your team to push through it, and then you go through it, and then you can start getting angles at that point in time. Right? That's just how choke points work. Essentially, if there's a choke point, you have very limited angle. You can be here, and here, or here, and these are your ranges. But as soon as your team pushes out here, and you can go like this, all of a sudden your range is like that. Right? It's huge. Who's better against Widow, D.Va, or Winston? D.Va has the bigger crit box, but she has a bit more burst damage. It's a wash, I would say. Winston has the consistent damage. If she gets healed, there's no way you're getting through it. But if she doesn't get healed, you're usually going to win that fight. If she doesn't hit you, if she doesn't headshot you on the way in, but you leap to get in, D.Va dashes to get in, you're screwed either way. If she gets away, she gets away. Hero picks just make it easy to perform. They aren't guaranteed that you actually will. That's correct, Lord Giggles. That is 100% correct. Do we have any other questions? Any other questions? If not, I'm gonna go get some sleep. Sleep. I think we had some good reviews today. There's some good questions. And I gotta get last week's reviews up too. And we'll see what we're gonna do during the off season. I'll figure something out. Who can we host? No. Doesn't airspeed. That's yeah. Not about this game, but is Junkrat? Is there someone behind us? But if there's someone behind us that I have a hard matchup against, should I try to kill them if no one else knows they're there? I would throw a couple shots that way, and that would subconsciously tell your team, "Hey, there's someone back here. Please help."